hsv.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Never miss 1 second of Charger baseball with the Charger Zone.
Stevenson's going to send this one into the gap. J.C. Wilburn get to it. He dives and dives.
Only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
A 1-hour extravaganza. Walking you up to Hey Coach for the final time. No more Hey Coach after tonight. And they're going out with a bang.
They're not going for summer school, are they?
Well, they're down at the beach tonight.
Oh, it's poor guys.
Yeah.
How will they muddle through?
Chris Stewart will anchor for. I did reach out to Chris, and he said, "Steve, I'm unavailable." And I said, "You're unavailable at the beach."
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that unavailable has a little umbrella sitting in his glass.
Bob Baumhauer is going to be a guest on Hey Coach tonight as well. So enjoy that. How are you, Wes Neighbors?
I'm doing good.
A lot to get into with the NFL draft from over the weekend. Congratulations, though, to our very own Caleb Renshaw, the former Sparkman senator, heard his name called in Green Bay to play for the Packers.
There you go.
So congratulations to him. Played at Troy, and also there was also a Alabama A&M player also getting his name called, Carson Vinson. And we spoke about it with now the former executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl about how much he impressed the folks down in Mobile for the Senior Bowl. Well, Carson Vinson is now a Baltimore Raven, a 5th-round pick, the 141st pick. In other words, he was drafted ahead of Shedeur Sanders. A lot's being made of Shedeur tanking interviews, whatever. Couldn't turn on.
I saw the Dion talking about how there's certain teams they weren't going to go to, this or that, and
yeah,
you limit yourself in huge ways when you do that, because you never know who's going to draft you.
I forget who Tom was talking to. Our own Tom Abraham of the Tom Abraham Show every day, noon to 2 here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I forget who he was interviewing, but it was kind of talking about that and with Shedeur Sanders and things like that. And it was talking about a lot of the intangibles. Yeah, he looks great on the field, but you're hiring for a culture, and you don't just hire just for activity. You don't want somebody who's going to wreck your locker room just because you want somebody good on the field.
Well, in the NFL, throwing on time is a big thing.
I
he doesn't throw on time.
But I will. I mean, if the audio that we played from Nick Saban on Thursday, he mentioned about let's see if I can't bring up exactly.
And Saban was a Shedeur fan.
Oh, very much so.
But, I do think I'm a Shedeur fan because I think he played in a little different style in college because of the players around him. He had to scramble more. But when he can drop set his feet and throw on time. He's the most accurate guy from the quarterback position of anyone.
Des has a strong take on him. We'll get.
Yeah, there was quite a few people that had a strong take on Shadur. I hope Mel Kiper's doing all right today. Man, oh man.
Well, in the interview, the guy was just talking about all the other off the field stuff with Shador may have spooked a couple of people.
So
it doesn't take many people to spook,
Right? Exactly.
Because you don't have but there's 32 teams, and
they talk.
What about 10 of them need a quarterback? The others have a quarterback that they're happy with,
right? But I mean, anybody who's been a hiring manager knows about some of the intangibles that has to go with that too.
I'd set that number at around 15.
Less than half.
Yeah. And it was put out there on Dion not wanting Shadur to go to Cleveland. He ended up in Cleveland.
Yeah. And every other quarterback nobody wanted ended up with Cleveland too. I mean, except for Dylan and Gabriel. I mean, you look at they're paying their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
They gave up 5 or 6 draft picks for, and then paying them $250 million. It was the stupidest deal ever. I can't believe anybody paid for him after all the baggage you were getting. It just didn't make any sense to me. He saved Houston, of course. There you go.
Gary Barnett, a friend of the program, I happened to fill in for the Blitz earlier today, and Coach Barnett was on this morning and just asked him to summarize from his perspective, because he had a front row view of Shadur the last 2 years. They're up in Boulder. Here's what Coach Barnett had to say.
I think it's really complicated, and it's got a lot of nuances to it. I think that it's a combination of so many things. First of all the publicity this kid's had, all the publicity his family's had, all the publicity that Colorado had. It's a little bit about Travis Hunter because, the two of them were hand in hand in this whole deal, and Travis being the Heisman Trophy winner and going the second pick, and Shadur certainly going with him. That all this fed into this expectations. I know our fan base and everybody else, but from day one, Shadur and Dion both have been very controversial, and I think when it all first started, there was a lot of skepticism as to whether or not Dion could coach at this level or be successful, or his style would work or his tactics would work, and that, Shadur coming from a lower level, and there was skepticism. And then all of a sudden there was huge belief because of the change that happened this last year, over the last 2 years, but the success they had. And I think there's another thing that's at play here, guys. I think, Shadur, in a lot of ways, is the first sort of, I don't want to say victim, I want to say situation where a really high-profile kid who is coming from what is now a system that is player-controlled, and that's what college football is now. It's player-controlled. They leave when they want to leave.
Yeah.
They demand the kind of money they want. They don't practice when they don't want to practice. And college football has let that happen. So he's sort of a product of this, hey, I'm the guy calling the shots, not you. And so he walks into these interviews and he thinks he's interviewing them for a job instead of them interviewing him for a job.
Wow.
So I a lot of that's not his blame, his fault. A lot of that is the fact that that's the way the system is. And you throw on top of that he's very confident. Of course, it crosses the line many times to cocky. He lives in an environment where everything he does is videoed, and he gets paid for it being on video. His dad's created this whole atmosphere of everybody watching and being a part of it, and him calling the shots. So, and then I think the NFL owners said, hey, wait a minute, we run this show.
That is a little bit of Gary Barnett from earlier today. What do you think of that, Wes?
Well, I think there's some truth to that. I mean, I think it's a little bit of everything. I was more interested in what Coach Saban said. Because they're talking about his arm strength when he throws on time.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't throw on time a lot.
Yeah.
So, I wish Shedeur all the luck in the world. It's draft day can be a tough deal look at Isaiah Bond. Somebody sues him for sexual assault, and there you go. He's gone.
Undrafted.
No, yeah, goes undrafted, and it's a tough road to hoe when you go undrafted.
Shedeur was the 6th quarterback off the board. Some notable quarterbacks that have been the 6th quarterback off the board in their respective drafts. How about Bo Nix last year? He was the 6th quarterback picked. That was all in the first round.
Though, yeah.
Russell Wilson was the 6th quarterback picked back in the 3rd round of the 2012 draft. Colin Kaepernick was the 6th overall quarterback picked up in the 2011 draft. 1994, Gus Frerotte in the 7th round. That's a great name, by the way. 1983, Dan Marino was the 6th quarterback taken in that draft. That worked out pretty well. 1973, Dan Fouts was the 6th quarterback taken. In 1971, Kenny Anderson was the 6th quarterback taken in that draft as well. And not a lot of people talk enough about Kenny Anderson and how consistent he played in Cincinnati more than anything.
Well, he did. No question.
Well, it sounds like it's his opportunity just to prove everybody wrong.
Well, it is. I mean, and will he get that opportunity in Cleveland with all those quarterbacks? That's going to be interesting. How many reps can you have in an NFL team when nobody hardly practices hard anymore? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to watch how he does, where he ends up, who gets traded from Cleveland. Will they get more than they paid for him?
They're not going to keep 4 quarterbacks.
No,
we know that.
No way. I mean,
Yeah, but there's still
is there
opportunity
4
for him
quarterbacks or 5 quarterbacks? How many quarterbacks are in Cleveland?
4, I thought.
No, there's more than 4. They I can name 3 just with the guy that they're paying $250 million. The 2 they just drafted, but they got Kenny Pickett and there's another one in there. Who's the other one?
Dylan Gabriel.
No. There's another one. I said they drafted 2. They have
They got Flacco. I got Joe Flacco.
Okay, and then they have Kenny Pickett.
Watson. Yeah.
So that's 5.
Deshaun. Yeah, that is 5.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun won't be practicing because he tore his Achilles again. But.
Yeah, but still, you're going to have to shove some elbows around to get in.
Oh, yeah. No question.
But I mean, it's a great opportunity for him to get in there and learn, and then show it's a good investment.
Right.
And he'll either show up for the Browns or he'll show up for somebody else.
Well, yeah, in classic Browns fashion, watch them release Shedeur and then him
watch him ignite.
And then just ball out. Let's just say for the Jets or some downtrodden team.
Yeah,
that's not happening. The Jets. The Jets and the Giants are just there. I mean,
thought they both had decent drafts though.
Well, I mean,
it's hard to really put a finger.
The big question I have is, and I'd like to get Coach Campbell on.
Okay.
And you look at Jerry, get Jerry on and talk to him about. I have several questions. Why in the world did the Eagles trade up 1 pick and give up a 5th round draft pick?
I don't know.
I mean, obviously, the only answer to that question can be that they were going to draft
the same guy.
And but how would the Eagles know that?
Exactly.
Well, I think they got played personally.
Felt that too.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to find out.
But the Jags move up. The first big move was the Jags getting in to that number 2 pick for Travis Hunter.
Yeah, and then what they're thinking is that's a 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting a wide receiver and a cornerback is what they look at. I mean, he can't play the whole time, obviously, not in the NFL. My whole thing is I think the guy's not very big.
No, he's not.
And so to me, it's going to be, can he stay healthy? Durability. I mean, and that used to be always the knock it was the size thing. I was subject to that and should have been, they proved right on me. I couldn't handle my body couldn't take the heat, obviously.
Tyler Booker ends up with the Cowboys.
And Mitch is somebody asked him the question. I don't know if you've seen this. Who was the tackle, was the highest paid tackle, played for the Titans, offensive tackle that played for the Titans from Michigan? I can't recall his name right now.
Oh, that's Taylor Lewan.
Taylor Lewan has a podcast.
He does.
Yeah.
Yes,
and on that podcast, the question was asked to him, of Tyler Booker, if he had to give away his signing bonus, who would he give it to? And he said, Billy Roby.
Really?
He was a walk-on at Alabama, who's my nephew. I
wish I would have known that.
Yeah. So somebody sent it to me, but then it kept cutting off. But finally, my brother showed me today.
I hadn't heard that.
I had heard that from a couple people. Yeah. So anyway, I thought Shedeur handled the thing on day 3 very well.
Yeah.
I mean, his interview, and there's a paddle. There should be a paddle for the ass for the guy from Atlanta.
Yeah, the kid.
Well,
that's I don't know how young or old he is, but that prank call.
That's bad. That's just classless.
Yeah,
totally classless. There you go. They're talking about their 5 quarterbacks on the ESPN right now. Yeah, they have.
They
got $400 million in quarterback.
Doesn't sound like a real good investment.
Do they have any money in a playoff win?
No. You can. I mean, this is. I questioned the Giants for trading up for why.
I don't know.
That's what Coach already sent me. Why? I mean, I agree. Why? He wasn't going to be drafted.
Yeah. Or the Falcons moving up to get James Pierce late in the first round. I didn't fully understand. Listen, I love the fact that the Falcons are going all in on defense.
They need to.
Yeah. But I felt like they gave up quite a bit there to move up to the Rams pick there for number 26. But, hey, if it works out, no one's ever going to remember that. It's, hey, you got the guy who made some plays out there on the field. And I think the Falcons got 2 really good defensive edge players to hopefully make some standout plays in year 1.
About time to have a good Falcon season. Long time coming.
Still waiting. Also still waiting on some apologies out there from my college football brethren, because the SEC, once again, the top conference in terms of picks, 79 picks in the National Football League draft this go around. Committee got it right, though. Committee got it right.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
No. No.
Yeah, where to go shopping.
I was interested that the tight end for Alabama gets drafted by fullback from what team drafted him though? Good night.
I don't know that one off the top of my head.
I had to look it up.
I do have the list of undrafted players in front of me, and most notably some undrafted players. Brady Cook, the Missouri quarterback, he went undrafted. Isaiah Bond, the former Alabama and Texas wide receiver, undrafted. Brew McCoy,
that was
undrafted
because he got a sexual assault charge. I mean, we saw the same thing kind of happen to Eliel Collins.
Dupree.
Remember?
Oh, that's right. C.J. Dupree went undrafted from Alabama. Seth McLaughlin, that former
was surprising, but
Alabama.
The injury.
Yep.
I mean, if you get hurt, it's a big deal.
Eugene Asante, the Auburn standout, went undrafted as well. Jared Ivey, the Ole Miss edge player, went undrafted. And James Burnap, but I mean, that's a punter from Alabama, also went undrafted. There's usually a lot of special teams that you can sift through. Clay Webb, the Jacksonville State standout, He went undrafted as well, but those will all find homes. And usually when you get past the 6th round, you want to kind of find your own place if you're in that kind of position. Sometimes for those players.
Do, yeah. Robbie Oots went to the Seahawks, which they drafted him as a fullback, which I thought was very interesting. Drafted him 170 in the 5th round, which I didn't think. So if I'm drafting somebody, you drafting Robbie Oots or you drafting C.J. Dupree? You know, to me it would be C.J. Dupree, but they drafted him and then now say, hey, we're going to have a fullback for the first time. Found that very interesting.
Thank you, Drew. Drew just texted me that name as soon as you were saying it. But thank you, Drew, for that. If you'd like to be a part of the program, you can certainly do so on the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline at 256-576-4977. The telephone number, the team with the most draft picks, that goes to Ohio State with 14, followed by Georgia with 13, Texas at 12, Oregon ends up with 10 draft picks this year in the NFL draft. So there's that out there as well. I did ask Coach Barnett earlier today, and I mean, listen, he is a Colorado guy, but if you had to buy stock in Shedeur, would you buy stock in Shedeur on the NFL side, Coach? I said, Coach, would you buy stock in Shedeur Sanders?
You know, I am, and I'm a quarterback guy, and I've been around him for 2 years now, and I haven't seen. He is a tough dude. He can throw the ball wherever he needs to thrown. He's 94 sacks, and you can say he held the ball. Yes, he did, but he was trying to make plays. Mm-hmm. He had no help in the offensive line and no running game. You realize our leading rusher over 2 years that he was there was 300 yards. So he had no help in that aspect. And so I'm buying stock in Shedeur. I really am.
We'll see how it pans out. It's got to be the right situation. I don't even know if Cleveland is the right situation, but it might be. Who knows?
Who knows?
Seriously.
They got, yeah.
But there's no doubt that his name was Mud. I'm sure you saw Mel going a little nutty there on the set. Or did you?
Well, I mean, yeah, I watched some of it, but I mean, I don't know. It's pretty arbitrary. Who knows if he'll make it or not?
Yeah,
even if he was drafted in the first round. I mean, I've seen some of the worst. I've said from the beginning, quarterback.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to judge. It's always been hard for me to judge. Jerry Glanville's very good at it. And I got the hint that he thought they were messing up by not drafting Shedeur, but he wasn't in any of those meetings either.
Yeah.
And I'm, people in a locker room nowadays, you need no drama. It's hard enough, but you don't need any drama. And there's going to be always some.
And usually backup quarterback position, you want them to blend in like they're just,
well, you want them to, you want them to be able to play.
You want them to be there, but not be like Tim Tebow. That to me was a deal where he was always a storyline, even if he was a backup quarterback.
Well, yeah. I mean, I thought that he was a pretty good player. I mean, he won a playoff game and then could get another job. That's surprising, but it is what it is. You got to go to the right team. There are a lot of great talent. It's not like you're just going up against the talent of your class. You're going up against the talent of everybody's class.
Yeah.
Any little injury can affect you greatly if you're not one of the really good players. I mean, you turn like if you're, and I've said this before, if you're a free agent or a late round draft pick and you turn your ankle and miss camp, you're gone because they don't have any investment in you. If you turn your ankle and you're number 1, 2, 3, 4 pick, even 4th pick, they're going to give you a shot because they've already paid you. They have an investment in you. So anyway, there's a lot of great athletes out there.
Yeah.
And the draft always interests me because of what's going on around. But, the draft. And I remember Lyle Collins was falsely accused. And
that's right. Cost him a lot of money.
And Jerry Jones took care of him.
He did.
And then he had a great career.
At least I had that thought in my head when we got to certainly Saturday that the Cowboys were going to pick Sanders just because of that relationship that Jerry and Dion have. But obviously that did not play out. Before we head off to our first time out, we're walking you up to Hey Coach. Then it's the Atlanta Braves later on tonight as they are up in Colorado, balmy Colorado, as I think the highs are like in the mid-40s up there between the Rockies and the Braves tonight. You'll be able to hear that after Hey Coach. I think first pitch was 7:40, I want to say.
That's correct.
And on the subject of baseball, they're getting ready to play baseball between Buckhorn and Mountain Brook. This is game 3 of the 6A series as they split the first 2 games to move on. And there's been quite a bit of drama. How about Bob Jones with a walk-off against Thompson to move on in the 7A? Congratulations to the Bob Jones Patriots. Hoover also moved on, as did Auburn, Fairhope, and Tuscaloosa County. What are some other? Madison Academy, they moved on the 5A level as they down Leeds in 2 games. Scottsboro downs Jacksonville in 2 games as well. Congratulations there to Scottsboro, Madison Academy, as well as Buckhorn taking on Mountain Brook. That's getting ready to take on right now. In fact, that's 5 minutes away from first pitch. That's on the 6A level. The 4A level, Madison County, they fell to Haleyville in 2 games. And just want to make sure I get all of our local schools. They're Mars Hill Bible won on the 2A level in 3 games. And I believe that's what I see in front of me in terms of local schools here in North Alabama, but a big one for Buckhorn and Mountain Brook, as that winner will, I believe, take on Pell City as they down Coleman in 2 games on the state baseball playoff bracket that's going on. So there you go. Let's go ahead. I saw something over the weekend that it was basketball, but I've got a football tie-in to it. I'll explain what I'm talking about on the other side. It is the drive here on a Monday, walking you up to Hey Coach.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra Barcode Printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution for your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at sensagreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
Tom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyandersonford.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Only 30 minutes left to go here on a Monday. Final Hey Coach of the Year is coming up. A big weekend. Well, I say a big weekend for Alabama. That first game against Mizzou, Tigers came. Missouri has yet to win an SEC baseball game, let alone a series. They darted out 5-0 on Thursday. Alabama was able to come from behind and beat Alabama, sweep out the Tigers.
Beat Missouri.
Yeah, they swept Missouri, including run ruling them in the final game. I believe it was 12-1 was that final game. So Alabama, they will move on to take on Vanderbilt, I believe, this week. Then a big one potentially that could be for hosting, not a regional hosting, as Alabama takes on Georgia next weekend. That would be gigantic there for the Crimson Tide. Something else that I learned over the weekend, Wes?
Well, one thing I want to say, gigantic for the Crimson Tide, didn't lose one player in the transfer
portal. Yeah, that is
one
big.
Scholarship player.
That's right. Yeah,
so
that is big.
Yeah.
I also learned you don't talk to Bill Belichick about his girlfriend. You don't do it. You don't do it. In fact, the folks at CBS tried to.
Sure, that's the. Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on.
That was off camera, by the way. She was just like, nope, not happening. Nope, not happening.
I mean, that makes me wonder how they met. It's a rent a college student. You think what's that site called?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. Bill Condon was talking about that time.
Oh, if it was Bill Condon. Yeah. I mean,
oh man.
I don't want to introduce scandal.
What fine, reputable site was Bill Condon talking about?
I don't know.
Down there on the beach.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That, by the way, is a month away.
Can't wait.
Down there at the beach for the SEC spring meetings. So that is not what kind of perked my interest. Bill Belichick's.
That makes you. That's just. Why wouldn't you want to say how you met with your girl? Is it his wife yet or just
girlfriend?
Girlfriend.
Because I think she's like 24.
Yeah, she's getting her. She's getting her MBA at.
Yeah, is that what she's doing?
MRS, or is it MBA or MRS?
MRS
at North Carolina. Yeah.
No comment.
Little Tar Heel action.
Yeah. Pay for play. College level.
Something like that. NIL. So
makes you. I mean,
it does.
Yeah,
it does.
I mean,
so I believe it or not, I ended up watching the NBA playoffs over the weekend. I know. Listen, I know it was Talladega weekend. I couldn't find Talladega, by the way. Anyway, I ended up watching the NBA playoffs. The Knicks down the Pistons 94-93 is that final score, and didn't end all that cleanly as well.
Robinson goes for a block. Turn could get an opportunity to get a putback. Cunningham driving, pull-up jumper. No good. Spiraling, loose ball on the floor. Kicked up Hardaway, 2 seconds left. Puts up the shot. No, and the game is over. JB Bickerstaff is on the floor and right. He thought there should have been a foul called on the Hardaway shot. Call on Josh Hart here against Hardaway. Good up fake, I think. There's contact on Tim Hardaway's right side as he gets Hart in the air. Most often, you're going to get a call on this play. Right there is just contact as Hardaway leaves the floor. But we know there's been a lot today that was not called on shots.
So, why do I play that? Because the officials met with the media post-game. I said, college football fans, the head official met with the media. David Guthrie told pool reporters afterwards they went to the tape, and yes, that should have been a foul, and there should have been free throws for the Detroit Pistons. Why can't we have this in college football? Why can't we have this in college football?
We've never got a straight answer for the Oklahoma game for the touchdown pass.
Yeah, never. No, why can't we have this for college football?
It's never going to happen.
I mean, it's okay. Well, we're big boys. We can handle it, and it's okay for the crew chief to say, you know what, we screwed up. We screwed up. And see, it's not leading Sports Center right here
because nobody pays attention to basketball anymore.
Well, no, they're talking Rockets right now.
Yeah, there they go, Washington, DC.
Yeah,
new stadium, going back to DC.
Yeah, new RFK coming.
$4 billion stadium.
But I think we are to the point where can we just hear from some officials? I mean, Steve Shaw is kind enough to come on after I badger him enough to come on the program. But I fully appreciate Steve. And I texted
and
Steve.
I gave him a good idea and didn't get past
the penalty box.
Yes.
The penalty. I am fully expecting a penalty box to be implemented. This needs to happen.
The neighbor's wealth management penalty box.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. There we go. That's hilarious.
But having a crew chief talk to just a pool reporter, even if it's just one, is why is that not happening in college football? Really, just across the board. If there is some kind of call in Major League Baseball, I don't know if that's going on the MLB side, but it clearly is happening in the NBA. There was clearly a foul at the end of that game, not called. And it went the Knicks' way, and they ended up winning 94-93. And by the way, that's now a 3-1 advantage in that best of three in favor of the Knicks. And that was a big comeback for the Knicks in that game as well. So 2-2, 3-1 is a big, big difference in a 4-game set. So I just... when I saw that and I read that, I said, hallelujah. Can we just now have officials on the college football side be able to go to, because we've got replay all over the place.
Yeah, but what does it look like on the like the management side of the officials in the NBA versus like NFL? Do they have like a different union? Do they have like a different? I just wonder. It sounds like a lawyer's involved somewhere.
Well, it is the NBA and not Division I college football, and there is a growing talk of college football referees to not be just ACC, just SEC, just Big 12. There is talk of putting an umbrella over it and letting the best guys or girls, whoever they might be, calling the best games of the week. Just put an umbrella over them. I don't know how complicated that is, but I am hearing whispers that is potentially going to happen.
Well, is that something that, right now they do it with the individual conferences?
That's right.
You could bounce that up to the NCAA and let them manage it?
That would be easier.
And that would do it, and that would allow you the flexibility and liquidity to move conference to conference.
That would be easier, but...
Sorry, I just heard the word liquidity today. I had to
okay. Sneak that in at some point.
Trying to sound smart.
I hear you.
So have you heard how much Nico's making at UCLA?
No, UCLA?
$900,000.
Is that before or after taxes?
Before taxes. No, hold on. That's
got to be after.
Yeah, it's probably after.
I was told it was 1.75, so 900 kind of jives a little bit.
Yeah, that makes
after taxes.
Yes,
from what I read, but and one thing that kind of, if the spring portal is a thing again next year, I think if I was in charge of a football program. Like UCLA is still in spring practice right now. Deshaun Foster spoke to the media yesterday, and he talked about the quarterback room and playing in the rain or practicing in the rain. That happened over the weekend as well.
I didn't think it ever rained. There's a song about that in Southern California.
But I think I might be in favor of holding my spring practice after that spring portal is closed. So that way you can just move on one thing at a time. I know it would cause for a very late spring, but to me, it's one less distraction that you have to deal with. Just my 2 cents.
Well, I think the big thing is it's kind of helping is that they can't move to inside the conference. In other words,
SEC to SEC,
yes.
But the SEC is the only one that does that.
Still, I mean, I think it helped Alabama.
And I'm still waiting for one joker to sue the SEC.
Well, now, there was a lawsuit file I read this morning. I didn't follow up with it. But I read this morning there was a lawsuit file to allow players to go to school for as long as they wanted. In other words, there's no 5-year deal. This is
you can play however long you want to play.
Yeah,
like people going back
eligibility.
Yeah,
so people that go back
I started
for
working out this morning.
3rd degree, 4th degree, get multiple degrees.
Yeah,
as long as you are in school, that makes you eligible.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's just they go sue for everything.
I mean, it's. I'll have to look into that. I had not read that story. But Coach Foster revealed what he was excited about getting Nico into his team. And I was looking for that little bit of audio. And all I got from him was, well, he's a big guy. He's like 6'6". That's okay. All right. Coach Foster did also say he's a true competitor, a fiery individual. There you go, Vol fans, and a big arm, end quote, there from Coach Foster as UCLA continues their spring drills and going on even as we speak. I believe they're practicing. Oh, tomorrow. They are back on the practice field tomorrow are the Bruins. But a lot made on the portal period. And Wes mentioned it. There is just a handful of programs who did not lose a player in the portal. Wes mentioned one of them out of the Southeastern Conference. There was a total of 3 SEC teams that did not lose a single player into the portal, Alabama being one of them. There was one other team that surprised me because it was a total of the Power 4 schools. There was a total of 7 schools. One of them was Colorado. You remember this time last year?
Yeah,
it was all Colorado.
Right.
Not the case this year.
It's going to be interesting to see how Colorado is this year.
They were 9-4 last year.
Yeah. I don't think they'll be as good this year. We'll see.
Hard to think that they will be with as much talent as they're losing, but they did grab Julian Lewis. But he is green. I mean, just really right out of high school. I think he is 17 years old, as a matter of fact. And yeah, Coach Barnett talked about him this morning that he was going to his prom this past weekend in the state of Georgia. So we'll see what direction Coach Sanders goes into.
We'll see if things don't work out. Maybe Shedeur could go get his MBA.
It's coming. Well, you think about some of these guys made 7 figures last year.
Yeah,
and they won't be making.
Carson Beck is making $4.3 million this year.
I mean, he's making more than if he'd gone in the draft.
Clearly,
100%.
Clearly.
It is what it is. I think it's going to go down. I don't think it'll keep on like it is. I think there's going to. Hopefully, there'll be certain rules, but they're going to be lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. I mean, they need to do something about this. It's getting ridiculous. I mean,
we're well beyond ridiculous.
Well, it's just something simple. I know these attorneys don't want to hear this, but there is a rule for this: is if you sue somebody and you lose, you ought to have to pay for their attorney's fees as well. And they don't. And there is a statute that people forgot more than I'll ever know about law. I'll readily admit that. What I've been told is there is a statute for that. They just never follow it because it's a wink, wink thing.
Coming up on the program tomorrow, Jerry Glanville is going to join us right out of the gate, and we'll be live, by the way, from Woody Anderson Ford tomorrow as well. Let's go ahead and take our final time out, and then final call for phone calls, walking you up to Hey Coach, then Braves baseball.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. At Newmarket, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 2190 County Road 65 very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Newmarket.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Quiet night expected across the area. Low temperatures going to be falling into the mid and upper 60s. We'll continue to sit under a partly cloudy sky. That partly cloudy sky will continue into our Tuesday, where high temperatures are expected to reach the lower 80s. Once again, a small chance for rain and a few thunderstorms to develop heading into the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Nineteenth straight NFL draft that was led by the Southeastern Conference. 19 in a row. 79 picks. That was the most by any conference. In fact, the last time the SEC did not have the most picks in the NFL draft was 2006. The ACC won it that year. Kudos to the Big Ten. Welcome to the party, pal. Big Ten was 71 overall selections. That dwarfed their previous high from 2 years ago at 54 overall selections. So the Big Ten stepping up was 71. So 79 for the SEC, 71 for the Big Ten. That accounted for 150 of the 257 picks from this weekend's NFL draft. Final call for phone calls, 256-576-4977, the telephone number. Joel Klatt went on his program, saw quite a bit of Joel Klatt as he was on the NFL Network. I don't know where you watch the NFL draft, but I go NFL Network more than anything. I just like how they package it. I like how it looks.
Right. I don't know. I wasn't in charge of the TV. I was just watching it.
Well, I was watching the NFL Network. Joel Klatt did have this to say on his QB1 next season show that started today, and it starts off with Quinn Ewers. Started off with the handoff from Quinn Ewers to Arch Manning, as Quinn Ewers is now, of course, in the National Football League, although
he was the last quarterback
taken.
They said he had a bad hip.
There is some report out there on that, but we'll see how it shakes out. But Arch Manning, Joel Klatt is of the expectation, at least what he was told by Steve Sarkisian, is that Arch is not going to be a one-and-doner. I realize he was there last year, but my point is that Arch Manning coming back next year in 26, at least according to Joel Klatt. And I'm sure that would probably be some very good news to a lot of burnt orange fans here in the Southeastern Conference, because there is no doubt what we are going to hear quite a bit of in Atlanta.
He's going to be the first pick. He'll be out. If he does really good next year, he'll come out 100%.
So
you look at Carson Beck. If he'd have come out, he'd have been in the first round last year, and this year he came out. Who knows what he'd been? He wouldn't have been injured. He's going to make more money in college than he would have probably.
Yeah, and he gets to play in the ACC this year
probably
as well.
At least 200%. Yeah,
he gets to play in the ACC as well. Spend a nice year down on the beach.
But he hasn't been throwing the ball. How's his health? You know?
I don't know. I just know he's got a Lamborghini. Yeah, you're welcome.
Lamborghini.
All about the Lamborghini. So, an obscure story for you? Sure. Why not? We've got time. Well, up in New York, there is a turkey named Astoria. Stay with me. Astoria is a turkey named after a Queens neighborhood. It's been on the loose in New York City now for 2 weeks. A wild turkey.
Turkeys are terrorists.
Inside Edition reports.
Her name is Astoria. She's named after the neighborhood she was first spotted in. But now she's flown the coop, flying over the East River, and has landed here in Manhattan. There have been Astoria sightings all over the city. She even went to Starbucks for a coffee fix.
On Sunday, she showed up in Central Park.
Get him, Allison. Tell that truck to stop. Today, I helped her cross the street so she wouldn't get hit by cars on New York's swanky Park Avenue. Here we go.
Oh. This is mating season, so we think that the motivation for her to wander is to seek a mate.
Well, she'd find plenty up there.
She's shredding her drumsticks out there on the street.
Yeah.
Wild turkey.
Yeah, there's some lucky guy up there, I guarantee you.
Mine usually come a fifth at a time. Sorry.
So the coolest thing, this has happened to me, and I'm gonna drive home this the same way. There's this way I go home is by A&M, right? When the traffic's bad.
Yeah.
I usually go, if it's before 7, I go this way. And for 2 years in a row, a tom, a male turkey, has come into the road, spread its feathers, stopped all the traffic,
really,
and let his kins go by. Yeah, like 4 hens.
You hear them in the trees up in my my neighborhood's back over there. You hear them in the trees.
Yeah, I'm telling you though, it was, you could see. Like if I was a hunter, I could have killed 4. I mean, I'm gonna say right then.
But I fully out of season to be caught.
Yeah. It was just I wouldn't kill a turkey anyway. I mean, my buddies just it's a disease. Back in the day in Bryant Hall, turkey season, all you would hear people practicing their calls.
Really?
Oh yeah,
really?
Just up and down.
I would
the
think
hall.
that would be mildly annoying.
Mildly, yeah, yeah.
Turkey hunting sounds exactly like the one time I went duck hunting.
Yeah,
once.
I like duck hunting, but I don't go very much.
Ben Lear tried to get me to go hunting with him, and he told me what time we were getting up. I was out.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get up early.
I'm thoroughly convinced them ducks will be there for the afternoon.
I was out.
Well, you can't afternoon hunt if you want to. My dad called it, he liked to hint, and that's when you ride around, and it's not hunting, it was hinting, because you ride around, drink beer with a shotgun or a rifle, whichever you needed. And that way you cull the dumb ones. That's what he said. Makes sense.
Yeah. No, Drew, I'm not naming the turkey that, okay? But it is a wild turkey on the loose, so you can connect those dots.
An ounce and a half at a time.
Yeah, you know what they call a wild turkey, right? It's kicking chicken.
Yep. careful. It gets too much. You start coughing up feathers. I'll see you guys in the morning. I'm here filling in on the Blitz. You guys will be back tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. And Jerry Glanville is going to join us tomorrow as well.
And we'll start the merry-go-round again.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150